Something that seems so damn simple, yet was made so damn difficult by the CFP. So simple, yet they make it so difficult. CFP has announced today that the college football playoff will remain at 12 teams, despite the massive headache that just occurred. But they've made some adjustments, and we'll talk about them right here. Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Hurricanes Unfiltered, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. I am your host, Rudy Rodriguez Show. Might hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell, leave your comments. It's been a busy day. More recruiting stuff going on. I will have a recruiting update video up tonight for y'all to check out. But this is about the CFP's decision to remain at 12 teams. Except they've made a couple of adjustments. Let's talk about these adjustments before we start. Welcome. Oh, man, made a mistake there. Shout out to our sponsor, Natalie Lopez, attorney at law. When life hits hard, the law firm of Natalie Lopez hits back harder. Practicing in the areas of criminal defense and family law. She can be reached at 954-888-8833. That's 954-888-8833. And on Instagram at nat.guilty, nat.guilty. Let's talk about it. She's here to help you and fight for you. CFP, man. It seems so simple. Yet what we got in the CFP is one big dick swinging contest between the SEC and the Big Ten. Because basically the SEC and the Big Ten control the college football playoff. And conferences like the Big 12 and the ACC basically get shit on. There's a belief that the Big Ten and the SEC have so much talent, are so amazing. They're kick-ass teams. They're dominant teams. Now, the Big Ten did have the best overall bowl record this year. And the SEC had the worst overall bowl record this year. Just to bring you back to speed of the bowl schedule, we had a bunch of SEC teams just lose and lose and lose and lose. Alabama beat Oklahoma. That's one of the two wins. Two SEC teams playing each other. Then Alabama got drop-kicked by Indiana. Miami beat Texas A&M. Miami then beat Ole Miss. Two SEC teams. Ole Miss played Tulane. They got a win against Tulane, a team that had no business being in the playoffs. So this dick swinging contest between the SEC and Big Ten is basically the thing that has kept this as a 12-team tournament, 12-team playoff. Because what did the Big Ten want? The Big Ten wanted, or as I was talking about, all the bowl games. By the way, let me go back to that. All the bowl games, like the SEC got their ass kicked in most of their bowl games. So. Whether it was Missouri losing to Virginia, ACC, SEC, LSU losing to Houston. Who else was here? Illinois beating Tennessee. That's Big Ten versus SEC. Michigan, Texas did beat Michigan. Vanderbilt lost to Iowa. And so on and so on. And, then Georgia lost to Ole Miss. So there are some cross SEC matchups, which kept teams in there. All that said, the reality is they control this tournament. This playoff is controlled by the Big Ten and the SEC. The SEC wants a 16-team tournament, which actually makes complete sense. They want it, though, for themselves because they want to grow their presence in there, even though they don't deserve it. They haven't earned it. And we're going to go through this same pissing contest next year when they throw a bunch of freaking SEC teams into the top 25 to control the entire ranking system. And now the Big Ten will probably have something fairly similar. But the Big Ten wanted a ridiculous playoff system of 24 teams. Like, that crap makes no sense. For that, we might as well not even have a football season. Just start the season off with playoffs. Go off of your top 24 and move on, because this stuff is stupid. So instead of going to 16, they stay at 12, with some stupid caveats that make no sense. One caveat is that Notre Dame provision, where if they're ranked in the top 12, they're automatically in no matter what. So even if they're 12, that means that 10, 11, and 12, 11 will be out if it's not a G5, a G6 school, and Notre Dame will be at least number 11, while the top ranked G6 school will be number 12. Ridiculous, right? Again, let's get back to the reality. Why do we need these damn G5, G6, whatever they call it, these schools in this playoff? If they're not undefeated, if they're not ranked in the top 12, top 10, whatever it is, they don't belong. If they're not ranked in the top 16 for a 16-team tournament, they don't belong. They're just going to get their asses kicked. It's a waste of freaking time. And for the CFP people to sit here and say, oh, it was so very, very exciting. No, it wasn't. It wasn't very exciting. There were a few games that were very exciting. The bye week creates all kinds of problems because it seems like for some teams it affects them, for others it doesn't. But teams on a bye are 1-7 these first 2 years. I don't believe that had anything to do with Miami beating Ohio State, but I do believe that there is some impact on some of these schools, especially last year. But again, we made adjustments. Now we're making adjustments again, and you had blowouts in 2 of the first 4 games. Like that's not what people want to watch. It's not what people want to watch. So here we are again, once again, with the ACC probably getting fucked when it comes down to how many teams they have. Probably end up being 1, max 2. The ACC is now guaranteed their champion, even if they're 7-5 again or 8-5. They're still guaranteed their champion. And of course, the Notre Dame provision. Now, what does that mean for the ACC? That means the ACC better have something in place to actually have a real tiebreaker that doesn't put Duke in the damn tiebreaker when they're in a 4 or 5 team tie. Because obviously then you would throw Miami in there because they were ranked in the top 12, top 13. They were the highest ranked ACC school. So you naturally would have put them in there to play Virginia, which they should have the right to do. This is their conference. They're protecting their brand. Like, think about all this right now. Right now, it's quite possible that Miami wouldn't have even made the playoffs based on this new format. It's quite possible. I'm not saying it's definite, but it's quite possible. Now, or maybe the Duke just gets in at number 11 or whatever it is. But this is all, or 12. But this is all, and James Madison finds themselves on the way out, on the outside looking in. But this is the type of mess that's been created by a stupid playoff system that they have that is so biased to 2 conferences who are basically fighting each other over bids. And the reality was you had 2 playing on one side each other, Oregon, Indiana, and Miami playing Ole Miss. Miami beats Ole Miss. Indiana wins over Oregon in a bloodbath. And then Indiana wins the national championship over Miami in a damn good game. I mean, a damn close game. Like, wouldn't you want to have this done the right way, where you get rid of these silly buys and just put 16 squads in there? It doesn't make sense. It's more nonsense with the CFP. And again, they're going to sit here and say that the rankings have nothing to do with anything, but we're going to watch this same song and dance happen all over again, and we're going to have a bunch of SEC schools ranked in the top 25 to start the season, and they're basically going to beat each other and have the same bullshit that goes on and on and on and on. Like, if you look at it right now, there's a whole bunch of people with, they're already dropping these mock rankings, these early rankings, these way too early rankings. So, for example, you have one ranking here. This is J.D. Piquel. I don't get involved in this crap. People can rank whatever they want. But this is the issue. Ohio State 1. This is just one of them. OSU 1, Georgia 2, Indiana 3. So you got Big Ten, Big Ten SEC, Big Ten, Oregon, Big Ten. Miami at 5, ACC. Texas Tech at 6, Big 12. Texas, SEC. A&M, SEC. Notre Dame 9, OU, SEC. Michigan, Big Ten. LSU. How is LSU ranked number 12? Because of Lane Kiffin? Because of Sam Levitt? I mean, maybe they will be really good. Who the hell knows? But God, dog, make them fucking earn it. They stunk this year. Make them earn it. BYU 13, Big 12. USC, Big 10. Alabama 15, SEC. Utah, Big 12. Tennessee, SEC. Why is Tennessee ranked in the top 25? Ole Miss, number 18. Penn State, coming off of the shit they just had, and you're ranking them at number 19. Missouri, Georgia Tech. So you got 2 ACC schools, 3 Big 12 schools, Notre Dame, and everything else is SEC Big 10. So you got Ohio State, Indiana, Oregon, Michigan, at USC, Penn State, Iowa. So sorry, 7 Big 10, Arizona, Houston, Texas Tech, BYU. That's 4 Big 12. Miami and Georgia Tech, ACC. That's 2 in the ACC. So the ACC is already starting as if they're running in the outside lane, trying to catch up. Because none of their teams are getting the respect of being ranked. What was the difference between LSU and Florida State? Not much. Not much. In fact, Florida State had a better win overall than LSU did. Like, there's no difference. There's very little difference. And FSU stunk. And then you go to the SEC. You got Georgia, Texas, A&M, OU, LSU, Alabama, Tennessee, Ole Miss, Missouri, Vanderbilt. 10 SEC schools, just like last year, will start this season off more than likely ranked in the top 25, and they will get the privilege of beating each other and sit here and then tell you, oh my God, this is absolutely amazing. They have such competition. They're so tough. The conference is so deep. No, it's not. It is not deep. You've made it deep because you give these faux rankings. Tell me why SMU at 9-4 is not ranked in the top 25. Tell me why Louisville at 9-4 is not ranked in the top 25. Tell me. Let me know. Why is Virginia, who went 10-9 and 10-3, not ranked in the top 25, or 11-2 or 10-2, 10-3, whatever it was they went? Tell me why they're not ranked in the top 25. Why not? I don't care what they got coming back or not. I don't even care anymore because that's the problem. That's the problem. So many of these teams don't have shit coming back, but you're just gonna, because it's the SEC. Let's give them the freaking credit. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. And it's become an utter freaking joke. Like right now, you can look at this right now. Of course, there are no G5 schools, G6 schools in here. Not one. Not one. Not one. Look at this. Look at this final rankings. Ole Miss at 3, Georgia 6, A&M 8, Bama 9. Bama 9 got beat 38-3, but they're 9. Texas 12, Oklahoma 13. That's 6 of your top 13 teams. Vanderbilt's 15. They lost. They lost to Iowa. Why isn't Iowa ranked ahead of Vanderbilt in the final ranking? Really, why not? It's a big ass joke, people. It's a big ass joke, and we're gonna have the same freaking crap going on next year. Well, this season, which basically puts any ACC team in that precarious position of you better not lose in conference, or you're gonna be on the outside looking in. And yes, as a Miami Hurricane fan, I have concerns about shit like that. Why? Because Miami plays Notre Dame late in the season on the road. That loss could take them out of the top 12 for whatever reason if they were to lose. If they were to lose, it could screw up their entire season, which means they better not lose in conference. They can't afford to lose in conference. And their schedule next year in conference, they have, I don't have it up here yet. Wow. What are they doing? Miami 2026 football schedule. Okay, here we go. We got FAMU to open, Central Michigan. All right, I don't know if that's opening. No, that's not open. That's probably like week 3. You got Central Michigan, FAMU, Notre Dame. Those are your non-conference, and then you're going to play at Wake Forest, at Stanford, at North Carolina, at Clemson. Clemson on the road is always going to be a tough game. They will always be a tough game. You're going to host Boston College, Duke, Florida State, Pitt, and Virginia Tech. You can't afford to lose any of these games. Why? Because none of these teams get the respect of even being ranked in the preseason. Pitt right now, looking at Pitt, like Pitt finishes the year at 8-5. They did lose in their bowl game to East Carolina, which was, but you know, it is what it is. But they're bringing back Mason Heinchel. They're bringing back this quarterback who's pretty damn good. But yeah, God forbid they rank any one of these ACC teams in the top 25. God forbid they give them any benefit of the doubt. Because all the benefit of the doubt goes to the SEC constantly. Even after they lose and go 2-9 in bowl games. 2-9 in bowl games. This shit is ridiculous, people. It's ridiculous. And the CFP thinks this makes sense? Or they're too lazy to make a decision? Because the only tournament that only bracket that is really logical is 16 teams. 24 is just as stupid as 12. And 24, I mean, you're talking about you have to start that shit like in the first week of December. I hate this. I hate this bracket. I didn't like it this year. I've never liked this 12-team thing. I thought it was always dumb. It made no sense. You have unnecessary bye games and bye weeks. And you overly inflate the SEC based on how the AP will rank them, because that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. And heck, I've seen preseason polls that have Texas number 1. Based on what? Arch Manning? Make that make sense. But you can't. And we'll continue to go in the same song and dance. Miami cannot lose more than one singular game. They cannot lose more than one game, and definitely cannot lose more than one ACC game. They've got to be at least 7-1, unless the the ACC finally fixes their tiebreaker, because you're gonna have a bunch of teams that don't get played. Again, Miami's not playing Georgia Tech next year or this in 2026. CFP, man, you had one job to make it fix it, and you screwed it up again. What do y'all expect, man? Y'all let me know y'all thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell. This is Hurricanes Unfiltered, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. Come on now.